Welcome to the Church of Mabus radio show. It's Friday night, 7:09 p.m. Central. We're all still alive, barely. We're still kicking. Still cold in Florida. Had some cold weather. It's been in the 70s and now some colds here again. We had the snow. It ain't going to be happening again anytime soon, but now it's just a little cold. But we got Jay McNicholas here with us tonight.
How's things going, Jeff? Besides getting snow in Florida, which is cool.
It's nice. I feel like I've been hit by a Mack truck, but other than that, I'm alive. So here we go. We got Samuel Chong here with us tonight. How's it going, Samuel?
Good, very good.
And no, things just feel tired. Like just kind of like something's trying to beat us up all the time, and you can't see it, but it's there beating us up.
Time, and she's a very, very jealous woman.
Who is?
Time.
Who? Oh, time.
Time is the one. She's the only woman who's with us our entire lives.
Yeah, everything just feels off. It's like you got to try to find a way to be grounded and keep seeking the source. It seems like we're under attack at a lot of different levels, spiritual warfare, and it's just everything just seems weird. But thanks, Mark Eddy, always providing great guests. And we just had Rick Osmond on about some archaeological stuff from Mark Eddy, and Mark set in for that one. Oh, so what you been up?
Archaeology.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. It's a good one. I didn't even know the show was about King Arthur as much as it was until he started talking about King Arthur, like crazy cool King Arthur stuff, like Welsh King, like the real stuff, not
like Tintagel and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, like real, like that there was a king, like possibly three kings that were kind of like Arthur. He gets into it. There's a book called Book of the Golden Seven Bears, but and of course the whole time when we're talking about that stuff, I'm thinking about the movie Excalibur, like it's playing through my head the whole time. But Samuel, good to have you here. What have you been up to? How's it going?
I just passed a California bar exam, so I'm a lawyer now.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I've been working a lot on those kind of things, but hoping to bridge the practical world with the spiritual world.
Wow. So what kind of cases are you going to be like the X-Files of lawyers? What are you going to do? I mean, what do you do? Regular cases or just like, is it always going to be like weird cases?
Probably going to be a mix of everything. And hopefully I can contribute myself or my knowledge on in the disclosure movement.
Yeah, that would be cool, and definitely get some things going with that. But that's not an easy task, all that lawyer schooling, is it? I mean, that was a lot of work, I'm sure. Gosh, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of work.
Yeah. And now I'm thinking of Better Call Saul, that show, Breaking Bad spinoff show, which of course has nothing to do with you, but crazy like lawyer show called Better Call Saul. It's a spinoff of Breaking Bad, but Bob Odenkirk is in it, which is a very good actor. But and you also teach. What do you teach?
I teach a class that helps people to pass the California Court Interpreters exam, which is extremely difficult to pass. The passing rate is about 10% or 5% for Chinese Mandarin. It's actually lower than the bar exam, actually.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. So what's been going on with some of your UFO type stuff? I mean, I know you've been through things before, but does anything else pop up like current weird paranormal stuff, or what's some of the latest?
Yeah, so I have been trying to figure out a lot of things on the way here. One is that in the book Thiaoouba Prophecy, it mentions about time machine. The U.S. government is trying to develop a time machine, or was trying to develop. And it actually made me think about the Philadelphia experiment. And it actually connects with what I've been researching on the Akashic record. So if we go back to the past, we can actually do that through by accessing the Akashic record. So everything will be shown to us exactly as it appeared in the past. And this is exactly what it appears to me what the Philadelphia experiment discovered, that there was a like a twist of time and space when they were projecting certain wavelengths of energy onto the ship, originally wanting to make the ship disappear from the radars or cloaking the radars. But
the actual experiment was total invisibility,
yeah,
not just to electronic devices, but to the naked eye.
Mhm.
So the idea was that you're looking at the ship, they turn this device on, and it disappears right in front of your eyes, and it went horribly wrong.
Yes. So there's a change of time and space. So that's what happened. But actually, the ETs in the book Thiaoouba Prophecy suggest that they should instead focus more on the vibrational frequencies, the vibrations instead of wavelength. I found that to be very interesting because they say that there's a cocoon, what they would call the psychosphere, that rotates around the Earth at 7 times the speed of light. So if we can match the vibrational frequencies of the cocoon of the psychosphere, then we can actually access the Akashic record and see what happened in our past. And this is actually a lot of the spiritual masters, like the Rikis in India, were able to do in the past, seeing exactly what happened.
So let me ask you this, because we have talked about this on several shows. The Library of Alexandria, which has been lost to us, it was also considered one of the wonders of the world. Allegedly, it's huge font of information and knowledge. And there's supposedly several other of those types of libraries on the planet still in existence we haven't found yet. Would the information like the Akashic Record be also at these type of libraries?
Yes, exactly. It's very unfortunate the Library of Alexandria was burnt. But if you read a book that I translated from German to English called 334 per Thousand Lies, written by the high degree master of a secret society that was founded in Germany, you're able to see that they were trying to find the libraries that you were talking about. Like they actually found several of them, one in Europe, one actually in each continent, and they actually were able to see the past and predict the future just by using the knowledge that they accumulated from the books in the libraries that they found. So
it has been argued that the one in Africa is under the left or right foot of the leading paws, one of the leading paws of the Sphinx on the Giza Plateau.
It's very interesting because you mentioned that, because Michel Desmarquet, the author of Thiaoouba Prophecy, reveals one of the secrets that he didn't put in the book. One of which is that when we are ready, we will be able to access the basement or the secret chambers beneath the Sphinx. There are 3 secret chambers.
Yes.
And then when the chambers are opened, everything will be known. It appears to me that there seems to be some kind of knowledge contained in the chambers.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that we're not ready yet.
That's unfortunate. But I think also, even if we find the information under the Sphinx, it's likely going to be in an ancient language of Egypt, the Coptic, or one of the ones that are just, I mean, we can translate it, but it's not going to be like we go down there and like the guy from Stargate, oh yeah, this says blah, 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 blah. It ain't going to be like that. It's going to take a couple of years for them to get all the information off the walls and then decipher it. But I think that would be really, really cool. One of the researchers I know, Robert Bovall, was one of the guys involved in the late 80s or early 90s when they did the sonar tests on the ground and found the 3 or 4 chambers near those. They found chambers all over the place, but 3 specifically underneath the Sphinx, and 1 in the head. There's like there was an unknown room somewhere in the back of the head of the Sphinx, which I found to be very cool. I would like to be like on the ground in Egypt when they open that door in the head of the Sphinx.
Yes, and I assume that the chambers, the 3 chambers in the Sphinx, will contain a certain kind of device or knowledge that can be projected holographically, so that we don't have to translate the ancient language. So, for us to understand. I think when we are ready, they will be opened, one way or another.
What is some of this stuff coming up lately with the Stargate stuff? And I've seen it in like Trump headlines and stuff, but which I don't know, something about like Stargates and weird stuff. I don't know if they're talking about like the Stargates you go through like in the movie, or I don't know, but I keep seeing it pop up. Do you know, Samuel or Jay, what some of that stuff is now lately?
I'm a bit of a skeptic on this whole Stargate thing because it's only been like a recent science fiction television show / movie franchise. And it's a decent franchise. Don't get me wrong. I mean, both the movies and the TV shows, and the TV shows from the movies with the new cast are very, very good. But I hesitate to wonder how much of the Stargate conspiracy now is fiction from the TV show. Is it possible? Sure, I don't know. We don't know all the science. We don't know. We're just beginning to even dig into quantum science. So who knows what's possible out there? But we are, as Samuel said before, with the knowledge depot, the Alexandria Library, we're not ready for that kind of power. I mean, we just think about how cruel we are to each other on this planet. We got 2 regions that are just ignited in war already. I think if we had that power, we could just like pop up on any planet.
Here it is. Here it is. Massive AI Stargate project under Trump administration reveals next steps. Something about AI infrastructure and artificial intelligence. I don't know if that actually means the portal, so to speak, but so that's what they're calling it.
Trump may be artificial intelligence. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Stargate theory at present, but I don't deny the possibility because it's just science fiction at this point. I'm a skeptic right now. I'm on the fence.
Yeah, the ETs, according to Thiaoouba prophecy, come to us using what they would call transubstantiation, which is what I figure out to be teleportation. So they have to do that in deep space, otherwise their spaceship would be exploded. So they have to do that in deep space just to immediately move themselves from one location to another location. So they first have to vibrate themselves into the vibration of light. And then the spaceship disappears, and then through that they can teleport themselves to another location, and then they would lower their vibrations to their original state, and then they travel at a few times faster than the speed of light to their destination. So this is according to Michel de Marquet, how they are able to travel to us.
Yeah, it's another concept is called folding space, I believe. Basically, the way it works, some scientists have explained it as you get there before you left.
Yep.
You actually arrive at your destination before you leave. That's how this technology works.
I know we were talking with Preston about some of my encounters with UFOs and some of his, and I've seen pyramid craft over power lines and a white spear come out of them towards us, and I don't remember much more, so I don't know if I was taken or what, but a friend of mine doesn't remember any of it, and he was there. But it's interesting to think about, especially when you see that. Like, I don't know if that was our government, but it seemed like alien to me. It was like a weird pyramid craft and a ball of light coming at it, like a scout. I don't know. I guess that was like a scout or a drone, or I don't know. But it was also interesting because I've had people say they sit over the power lines to gather energy for some reason. They use the power lines for something technological. So that's interesting. Definitely weird. But and definitely all the Trump stuff to me seems like, not to get into Trump right now, but he reminds me of a Batman villain, and I don't know which one, but one of them for sure. Just seems to get crazier every day, and I get to see all the headlines on the right side.
Too, is he the Penguin? It's just a rich, big fat dude.
Yeah, and Jay, I thought you liked him.
Look, I like some of his political ideas and policies. I like that he's got a lot of the world scared. Some of the wars are starting to trickle down and quiet up a little bit. So I think that's good. But if he does anything dumb or stupid against the law, I'll be the first one to say, put the man in jail.
Yeah.
But right now,
you stop it. He's scary.
better economy. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, to me, he's a little scary, but so I know disclosure is interesting. I mean, we were talking about that as well. Like on one side, you have all the UFO congressional hearings and everything, and they're basically saying all this stuff exists. And then suddenly the Pentagon, who actually released videos of UFOs, are suddenly saying all of it's bunk, that, you know, that none of it's true. There's nothing here. So it's just really weird of the left hand feeding the right hand, not knowing which hand's doing what, that whole saying.
That's part of the problem with the government. Yeah. And I've been researching UFOs and Bigfoot and stuff for over 40 years.
But I think
there's been talks of disclosure all throughout those 40 years. And I've been as exactly enthusiastic about the talks 40 years ago as about the talks they had a few weeks and a few months ago. And that enthusiasm is nil, because nothing ever has come from any of it. And they all say the same things over. There's no new information has come out.
And a lot of contradictions. But
it's a lot of just.
Go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, I think people distrust the government, and they should use their intuitions or gut feelings when it comes to the UFO disclosure. If they just look at the ancient scriptures of the Christian religion or other religions, they're able to figure themselves out. For example, who do you think that really destroyed the two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah? Who do you think?
I actually have an answer for you on that one, and it's a good one, but it's not. We don't know for sure. But they found a Sumerian clay tablet of an observation of a meteor flying through the Earth's atmosphere and landing in Africa and destroying 3 cities.
Yeah, that's exactly what people should know about it. And also, who really helped Moses during his Exodus journey, parting the sea?
Yeah, it's a column of smoke by day and a column of flame at night. Has to be either a hologram or a machine that has fire coming out of it.
Yeah, it has to be a UFO or UAP. What about the Star of Bethlehem when Jesus was born?
That's the same thing. It has to be.
Yes.
I mean, maybe a satellite up above the Earth that's bright, like in certain parts of the United States, you can see our satellites flying overhead.
Yeah.
Back in that time, you probably could have seen a satellite. So if there was a satellite that they were following, again, they didn't have that kind of stuff back then.
Yeah, it's not satellite, because satellites remains in the sky for a long time.
Right. Yeah. Just as an example, either it's a UFO or a satellite. None of those technologies exist as far as our history, our common history that they want us to believe.
And also, like, if people think about Enoch went with God. Like, this is according to the ancient scripture, but according to the Christian religion, God is a spirit, doesn't have a face. So God is actually a pure spirit according to the Christian religion. So Enoch went away with God. Are those is that really God, or is it just angels or ETs that Enoch went with? So that's also another question. So if people read the book Thiaoouba Prophecy, they're able to connect all the dots, including Bigfoot, including time machine, including ancient civilizations, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, and the Bermuda Triangle, and also everything else. So I think people, if they really want to learn about more specific, verifiable facts about ETs, the paranormal, and also life after death, reincarnation, karmic effects, people should really check out the book Thiaoouba Prophecy. This is just my suggestion and encouragement.
I'm already 100% convinced. 100% convinced reincarnation is a thing, and it does happen. I'm convinced. I know a cat that died and reincarnated. It was the same animal, a new body. I know it 100%. I can tell you the story later, but I am convinced that reincarnation absolutely happens. Whether you're a cat or a human, it does happen. So people out there who don't believe in that kind of stuff, if you look into it, reincarnation might give you some hope, you know?
Yeah, and people don't believe it because of the church, because of the Christian religion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, people in India.
It's the same thing. The Christian church also, in the tenets of the Christian church, they say those who, Jesus even says it, those who follow me may know life ever after, or however they phrase it in the book. So they promise immortality if you follow, but it's just so weird that I've always thought of both government and religion as just different ways of men being able to control other men. That's what they're for.
Yeah, the church.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the book Thiaoouba Prophecy indicated which 4 Catholic Church Council meetings intentionally distorted the original scriptures.
The first Council of Nicaea, was it what, 100 AD or something like that?
300 something AD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
So that's very interesting. I find the church to be very hypocritical.
I am 100% with you there on that one, Samuel. 100%.
It's interesting about all the stuff you see about the Vatican suppressing so much, which I'm sure I believe.
I would not be 100% surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You couldn't floor me at all if we were to get into their secret information files where they keep their hidden. I mean, they know the full history of the Bible and all those ancient stories. They know what all. I mean, going even further back than the Sumerians, I guarantee you, the Vatican knows the true history of our people, and I would not be surprised if we find all the information in their clutches. Not one bit surprised.
So, what do you think about disclosure, Samuel? Do you think something, I mean, it's been happening. My biggest thing with it that I've seen that's weird, and I used to kind of wince at the word, not like the word really, and say, oh, it's just never going to happen. My big thing is with governments is I've been through experiences where I've been terrified of something other over my house with witnesses and beings. I've seen different beings, and I was afraid to leave my house a lot and freaking out, and it scared me. And when it happened, and now I'm like, I wish it happened more. They don't like me anymore, and where are they? Let's do it. Let's do it right now. But back then, I was terrified, and I probably and I think it psychologically affected me. I have psychological issues from some of my experiences. I think I've been taken, but I don't remember anything. But I've had so many craft above me to where you're looking and it seems like it's there for your neighborhood or for you. It seems like it's there for you. And I don't want to be an egomaniac about it. I'm the chosen one. Oh, let's go to Waco, Texas, baby. I'm kidding. I try not to let the ego part of it affect me, which, if anything, it scared me more than anything. And but now it's like you want it to happen. You want to see it. But when it comes to disclosure, and I've had some interesting people on, there's one guy that had some stuff happen. He's on the congressional hearings and stuff, and his White something. His last name's White, but he had a pyramid craft explode in his neighborhood, and the men in black and stuff came out and interrogated his mom and threatened her and made her draw stuff. So we've had some crazy shows, but the big thing that I see that's crazy that's happening is on television, these shows like Secret of Skinwalker Ranch and Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. And there's George Knapp's Alien Investigation on Netflix. They're genuinely doing weird stuff on these shows with the government,
George
military
Knapp is
officials.
a good investigator. He's the guy that brought us Bob Lazar.
But those shows have the shows have so many government spooks on those shows that they're more scary than the paranormal stuff. Like that Skinwalker Ranch show has Bigelow personnel. Soldiers,
personnel, FBI personnel.
They had Chris Bledsoe hooked up in a neurology X-Men brain machine summoning UFOs with Colonel John Alexander and 2 CIA former spooks next to it on one episode. So they're definitely amping it up. And I use discernment with it because I don't trust it. They're doing it. I'm like, what are they up to? But they're definitely doing something with these shows now more than ever that are creepy.
Yeah, I think the government is going to disclose certain information, but I think the real important event is going to be a grassroots movement in which people realize the importance of being spiritual, with the fact that the ETs are actually just like our mentors. Helping us from time to time, most of the times indirectly, but sometimes directly, to help us to grow and survive on Earth. They don't appear right now because, first of all, we are not ready, and second, they want to give the opportunity to us so that we can really respond to the challenges we face, and to grow and to learn ourselves without the assistance of the ETs, so that we can learn as much as possible. So they never try to give the meal on the plate, and so they would suggest us to do everything independently. So that's why we have to realize that it's important for us to understand the importance of consciousness and unconditional love, and also the development of spirituality.
I kind of agree with you, both of you guys, on a few points, but I disagree on the disclosure bit. I don't think the U.S. government's going to let us know anything that we don't already know, and I don't think they're going to let us know any of that stuff in any great capacity very soon. I think the bulk of the planet is a lot closer to being ready for disclosure than most governments are willing to admit. And I think it will be up to the aliens who will decide to go bing and say, hi, hey, here we are. And I think that will happen sooner than the governments. And I think the aliens will reveal themselves to us. I mean, I'm not going to predict a date, but I think they will be the ones to reveal first. And I believe it will happen way before any of the governments decide to do it.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you, because like you and Jeffrey know a lot, but the majority of my friends and colleagues, they don't know anything about the ETs or UFOs. I think it depends on who we are talking about.
Yeah,
So,
I've actually gotten it. You know, in college, I would have I wouldn't call it arguments, but I'd have long conversations with people who are interested in the UFO subject. You know, 3 and 4 hour long conversations while we're drinking beer and playing pool and whatnot. And then sometimes I've actually gotten to the point where I'm like, look, you're going to have to go. I can't tell you anymore. You're going to have to go and read these 3 guys' books and then come and see me as soon as you've read their books. Otherwise, I can't help you. And they're like, why? I'm like, well, because basically you're getting, 40 years of research for free. And you need to come at me with some information that you have. And then when I say things, it'll make more sense to you. And one guy's like, I don't believe that's true at all. I'm like, trust me, go just read this one book. Just next week we'll come back to the bar and we'll talk again. And he's like, okay, fine. Well, he read the book and he came back. He's like, he had so many questions, and I was like, boom, see, now you have the affirmation that you have the angles to go with now, and I can give you more information because you know what to ask.
yeah, and I would also encourage you and the audience to read the book, Thiaoouba Prophecy, because that's I read so many books written by ET contactees, but this book is a little bit special because it contains specific verifiable information. It's not just channeled information; it's information that we can verify specifically.
That's
It talks
awesome.
about a lot of the things, like the human energy field, the effects of colors, and also some of the things that normally people don't know
I'm glad
about.
you mentioned that. For years and years, I sold retail at a home improvement center nearby my house. And I still work for that same home improvement center, but I work in distribution now. I don't sell stuff at the store, but I've worked in the electrical department, and people would always ask me about the new LED lights and what did the new color patterns mean? What does, bright white and yellow, what do all the colors mean? And I would explain it to them, and they still wouldn't get it. And I would tell them the story that happened when I was in high school, or somewhere just out of high school. They did an experiment in certain police holding cells where they would paint the walls certain colors, and certain walls where they would paint like red and blue and black, and they'd have more arguments and bigger fights in those holding cells. And then other holding cells, they would paint like pastel colors, pastel blue and pink and green, and like the Easter egg colors. And in those holding cells, they had less fights and less arguments, and there was a more peaceful holding cell. So I would tell people that these colors that you see in these spectrums, they can affect your brain as to whether how you approach a room. So some of the new lighting, you have a yellow whitish light that makes the room look warm. So your brain, when you go in that room, your brain thinks this room is warm, even though it could be 22 degrees in there. But your brain is convinced that it's warm. And people are like, that's not true. It doesn't work. And I said, all right, do this. in your bathroom, put a warm white light over the sink, and put a cold white light over the shower, and then when you get out, you'll have the white, blue, cold light over you in the shower when you got hot water on you, and your brain will see the warm yellow light on the other part of the bathroom, and when you step into that area, it's the same temperature, but your body tricks itself into thinking it's warmer because it looks that way. It really works.
Yes, and also, the color pink can reduce muscle strength by 30%. So
oh, really?
Yes. Actually,
wow.
a football coach from the University of Iowa knew about this, and his name is Hayden Fry, and he painted the locker rooms of the visiting teams into pink color, and he never lost a home game.
I have a bit of a chest cold. Sorry, you made me laugh. That was funny. But yeah, I'd heard of that. But wow, the reduction of how much? 20%.
30%.
30% of your strength.
Yes, muscle strength. And actually, it's mentioned in the book, Thiaoouba Prophecy. And people, and according to the ETs, we overlook studies like the effects of colors. And they suggest to put that into full effect because it's actually a very effective way of treating a lot of different diseases. Like, there's a study by, I think, Harvard Medical School that they used a green color to treat the migraines. And it's so successful and so effective that the people who were participating in the experiment wanted to get the LED green lights free of charge after they completed the experiments because that really helped to treat their migraines. And also, there are a lot of other studies on the effects of red color.
How did the green light affect the migraines?
Because the green light can actually make alleviate symptoms of migraines. If you
really?
There's a study on that.
So I mean, because I can go get those lights at any of the home improvement centers in those specific colors, green, right? Yeah, they can get all the spectrum. So it's got to be like that. What's a specific spectrum of green, and it work on any kind of headache?
Yeah. There's a spectrum of green and that they used to do the experiment. But generally, the color green helps people to relax and to really feel refreshed, alleviate migraines. And also, the effects of blue color are proven to be that they can kill bacteria and also inactivate different kinds of viruses. Is done by the study is done by Harvard Medical School, and also there are a lot of other studies too.
I have a 25 watt. It's like a cool gray light in my bedroom that stays on all the time, and then behind here I have a Himalayan salt lamp that stays on all the time.
I see, and I was in India about 2 months ago. I gave a presentation on the effects of colors and also on the human biofield, the auras. And they were so interested because that actually can explain why the Ganges River has healing effects. so it's because of the sunshine, the river flows and from very high places to lower places at very high speed. And there are warps, like whirls, like it turns around at a very fast speed. That actually energizes water, and that makes the water having a very beneficial healing structure. And some people call that structured water. And especially when people soak themselves into the river, and they are able to actually be absorbed in the carrier of different vibrational frequencies, which is carried by the water. So that's actually the reason why they can receive healing effects.
Cool. And where is the Ganges? I want to go there.
It's in India, north of the capital, New Delhi.
Oh wow! Okay.
So when you went there, were people talking about UFOs and stuff openly there? I hear they talk about that more, but of course it's with their belief system and things like that.
I talked about the UFOs or ETs, and it's easier to communicate to them than people in the US because they already believe in reincarnation and they're open to the fact that there are different entities aside from human beings, what they would call gods or goddesses. So they are very open to the idea of having other life forms on different planets. But when after I came back, I just gave a presentation to a Rotary Club, and some of the people didn't even believe in reincarnation. So it's really difficult for them to understand how the things are connected.
Samuel, are you familiar with these?
What is that? I cannot see very clearly. No, I'm not familiar with that. No.
I believe this came out of the same river you're talking about, the Ganges.
Yes.
It's a Shivalinga stone from India. And if you remember the second Indiana Jones, he goes after those certain stones. They had the 3 white lines on them.
Yeah.
This is a natural. This is that stone that comes out of the Ganges in India. It's quite hefty stone. I got 3 of them for my costume, for my Indiana Jones costume. But I just thought that was cool. You brought that up, and here I was like, oh, I got something from India, and here they are.
India is a great country to visit. Actually, the people are very nice, very friendly, if you know them, and they have very ancient culture.
Oh yeah, God, they have like some of the first like science fiction stories ever.
Yeah, so but I think the book Thiaoouba Prophecy actually wants us to really know the real dangers on Earth. Number 1, money. Number 2, politicians. Number 3, journalists and drugs. Number 4, religions. So I think you know about the dangers of money and politicians, religions, and maybe journalists. But I want to emphasize that they also mention about the dangers of hallucinogenic drugs. So they actually explain how the human body is formed. We don't just have our physical body; we also have our astral body, composed of electrons. So when we take hallucinogenic drugs, we are actually moving our astral body to a location where it's artificial, where it's not supposed to be located, and then the astral body is immersed with false information. So this is what they tell us. We don't have any proof. I don't have any proof, but this is what they say, that it actually damages the astral body of a person, and it would take a few generations or a few reincarnations to get back to the original state. So they're suggesting us not to use any drugs, no matter how we think the drugs are important, or like it's no matter what the cost is, don't take drugs.
Yeah, everything has an abuse to it for sure. I mean, I could understand every perception of it for sure. And it's interesting that you say that, because there's such a movement with drugs and like ayahuasca and all that stuff. And I've never
shamanic uses for it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be done in moderation and in a ceremonial situation. It can be abused, everything. That's the problem. And I was someone that never did drugs ever. And then my dad told me if I did drugs, he would kill me. And then he died, and I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. Well, now, which is medicinal. I'm a cancer survivor. And it's legal, but you got to have a card in Florida. So that's all I do. And I can see where I probably abuse that sometimes. Like it's there. There's a propensity for it with everything. But yeah, the best way to look at any of that is shamanically. And there are a lot of shamans that say you can have the effects of psychedelics with a drum. I'd love to just do a drum, like you beat at a drum. Like there's a Michael Harner that wrote a lot of books on shamanism that speaks of not doing drugs, and you can have those shamanic experiences with a drum, which I was like, yeah, right. I'd have to do the drugs probably.
The Dragon Con convention in Atlanta, which isn't too far from you, Jeff, they have a drum circle I think it's Friday and Saturday night at midnight on the back patio of the main hotel.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's like it's a lot of people, like 200 or 300 people sitting there, just banging a drum for a couple hours.
And I think the best way to verify the information is to ask aura readers, people who can see auras, and ask them to see if there's any difference between the people who use drugs and people who don't, or people who use alcohol and people who don't, and just to see.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever done that study. I mean, there is what they call Carillion photography, which can capture the human and his aura, but I don't think they've ever done like, let me get your Carillion picture here, and then, here, drink this beer. Click. I don't think anyone's ever done that.
I know I've seen it spoken of in like books about chakras, like you can see a blockage with someone that may be doing drugs, but usually it's harder drugs like heroin and cocaine and crazy stuff like that.
I don't think so. I think you would see a difference in the aura with the beer. Or maybe take more than one beer. It might, maybe a couple of shots of whiskey or wine or weed. I think anything that you put in your system that, intoxicates you, that would change your aura. You would, if you have the Carillion photography, you'd be able to see that.
And the biggest thing I think with marijuana is, like, I've been having some teeth problems, and usually the answer to that with any kind of pain with a doctor is crazy painkiller pills. But there was actually some CBD THC oil called Alien Moonshine that I did that helped a lot with the pain. So that everything has a plus and a minus. You just have to be aware and use discernment for sure. I'm sure Alien Moonshine's safer than doing 40 Percocets. So it just depends on how you look at it. But Samuel, so what do you think with all this drone stuff that happened? That seemed like military, but did you keep up with a lot of that crazy drone? There was a lot of drone itch going on. I went outside and got paranoid that they were going to start hunting us like Terminator drones. But there was a lot of weird stuff going on with the drones. What did you think about all that?
I think they were internal.
Yeah, internal military. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No doubt about it.
U.S. military. I don't. Otherwise, they weren't U.S. military. The U.S. military would have been saying something way before we ever did. They would have already been activated.
Yeah, that got crazy. It seems to have simmered down a little, but
there's
been a lot of weird stories, like a fog that they're saying that's in states, and radiation outbreaks. Like, I have to see where at my job a lot of these titles, and it's definitely been weird. Very strange for sure. Like, now there's some kind of fog that comes through your state and has nanoparticles or something in it.
Yeah, the actual the fog movie is actually coming true.
Yeah, the John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, John Carpenter.
And so what's up next for you, Samuel? Do you get to travel a lot? I mean, India, that's pretty cool. When did you travel a lot?
Yeah, I'm actually going to China probably in March or April, and also try to be in a lot of conferences and speak out on the book Thiaoouba Prophecy, because actually this book is uniquely different from any other book that I read. I read a book by different authors, and not a single book can actually connect the dots of everything, like Bigfoot, time machine, parallel universe, and the dangers on Earth and how the world is run. And actually, ET say the world is actually run by financiers. And we need to be aware of that. But they also give a solution, saying that the people can get together and have a concerted action to form a nonviolent resistance movement to really rise up against the tyranny in the world.
We got about I'm sorry. We got about 7 minutes, but go ahead. And what do you remember about Bigfoot? That's always fascinating.
Yes. When Michel de Marquet was taken before he was taken into their spacecraft, they stopped at a transfer station, like a parallel universe. And in the parallel universe, he actually witnessed people who appear to be like Bigfoot, behaving like savages, and actually some of the savages tried to attack him and the ET, and the ET had a laser-like weapon and actually killed one of the savages. And I think the appearance resembled the Bigfoot that people described. I think there may be a connection that the Bigfoot can actually enter and exit from our universe into a parallel universe and then appear again, so that they can navigate themselves in and out of our world. So I think this can actually explain a lot of things that we don't know about. And actually, according to this book, Bigfoot are actually the people who existed on Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago, but they're trapped into the parallel universe, and sometimes they can come out, and sometimes they have to go back. So this is how the book conveys that idea.
It's interesting. I know there's a guy named Kawani Laparitis that does a lot of Bigfoot stuff, and he said there's different races of Bigfoot. Some are like a cone head, kind of ape-like, and then there's some called the ancient ones who have been around forever, and they're kind of like human-like but hairy. And there is a lot of weird paintings and stuff of hairy humans in like Bible scenes, and there's some Bible stories. I forget the name, Esau or something, that's kind of weird and that he's hairy. So but if you watch that show Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, which is really good, Graham Hancock has that show. It's on season 2, and Keanu Reeves is in a lot of them. They seem to suggest that there was some kind of super civilization here, and of course archaeologists and scientists don't want to talk about it or whitewash it, but it seems like there was something else here that, you know, that was powerful, and maybe it was hairy people that were more advanced than we think they are. Like, there's some weirdness for sure with it. That's strange. At so many levels you can go with it. I mean, of course, there could be Bigfoot that are savages and not, you know, advanced, but there could be other types that are, you know, so there's so many different ways to go with it. It's definitely a fascinating subject. I have a book about Bigfoot. It's called Praise for the Hairy Man, The Secret Life of Bigfoot. And it's just interviews with different people about Bigfoot. And it definitely gets crazy. Like, there's serious, like, hunter types that are, you know, trying to hunt the monkey in the woods. And then there's someone like Kawani that thinks there's an alien connection to them and portals. And it gets weird. So many different ways to look at it.
Exactly. And the information in the book, Thiaoouba Prophecy, can be verified because it actually reveals a news story that was published in the 1800s, in which a boy walked outside of his house to get some water from a well during a snowy day, and then he disappeared. And then his parents were looking for him, and then they followed his footsteps because it was snowy and snowing, and the footsteps stopped in the middle of nowhere. And then they heard the sounds of the boy, like the sounds of the source of the sound swings in space, like a swings, sometimes louder, sometimes fainter, and actually this is what the book Thiaoouba Prophecy used to illustrate the existence of a parallel universe, as reported by a newspaper on Earth. So the book contains a lot of specific verifiable information that I think is something very unique in this UFO world.
Well, we got about just a couple of minutes. Do you have a website you'd like to share or anything like that? A link or anything you want to give out?
Yeah, people can find the book Thiaoouba Prophecy by going on Amazon. It's also on Audible as an audiobook, and they can search my name, Samuel Chong, Chong, on Facebook to find me, or just Google my name to find the information of my whereabouts.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we appreciate it. And good luck with your class. Thanks. Keep us in the loop. We love having you on. Take care. Thank you, Samuel.
Yeah, thanks, Samuel. Great show.
Take care. Take care. All righty. I don't know if someone's deleting our streams on purpose, but for some reason it's happened a few times in the week. I'll run a stream like this one goes to UFO Undercover. It says this stream was deleted on Facebook, and then it says on UFO Paranormal Radio Network and United Public Radio it was just deleted, and then the one Michelle told me I could use, it was deleted. So I don't know if someone's like who's doing this, or Facebook's doing it. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. I've never had that problem before. It keeps happening every week. So am I not supposed to run the show to UFO Paranormal? That I'm supposed to, I thought. So why would someone delete it from there? That's weird.
Yeah, there's been some weird things going on with it. I've noticed. We like I had to do the UFO Undercover, and me and Sean started it up, and then it right in the middle it just turned itself off. So we just started all over again from scratch. We lost our whole audience. It was so weird.
Well, if you ask Joe about it, if you get a chance, I don't know what's up.
No, we did. He was on the airplane or waiting in the airport when when it happened. So
yeah, I'm talking about the weird channel deleting thing. Whatever happened to YouTube? What happened to that?
they took United Paranormal Radio and zapped it from us because we were scammers and spammers and whatnots. And
what?
Yeah, like they said we were asking people for money. It's like, we don't. We don't ever ask for any money.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's strange.
It was really weird.
That don't make any sense. I know Joe's had problems with him before, so it just sounds like
he's having to write a some kind of request.
Nobody even asks for money on the network.
No,
I don't even do that.
yeah.
But you know, why would every time I use YouTube or sound now on my keyboard, I'll hit my keyboard and it'll shut my sound off. Like I'll try to listen to a YouTube video and work, and you push a certain button on YouTube and your sound shuts off. So for some reason, I'm trying to figure out what the hell.
Wow.
I was trying to put up some posts for my stupid job while we were talking, and I couldn't. I just hit a space bar, sound stops, the volume goes down. You hit just any certain key, and it's weird. Something ain't right with this keyboard, I think. Unless it's a tech era. Of course, the dog's next to me snoring. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear the dog. Yeah, is that the dog?
Man, he has horrible snoring. I was hoping no one heard it, but
yeah, you can hear it.
I kept muting it.
Yeah.
But then I try to wake him up, but don't do no good. He just goes back to sleep. But let's see what's coming up schedule wise. Oh, okay. Let's see. This last year? That's this year. I'm confused. Where am I? What year is it? Saw Michael Ainley's back. What happened with that? I know there was some trouble. He left. Now he's back.
Yep, he's back. He's got his own show on Saturday nights, 8 to 10, I think.
And okay, next week, February 28th, Silence Done. That's in his. You know who that is?
No, I like the name though.
Okay, I was like, oh, you know him, cool. But he's with his friend. They made a comic book called The Devil's Gate, and it's like an apocalyptic western, Weird West.
Nice.
And everyone talk about westerns and craziness. Like I'm sure they know lots of authors and movies and stuff that are really cool.
Westerns are good stuff, yeah.
But they're basically designed the comic book, The Devil's Gate. And let's see. The first issue was on Kickstarter, and they like Unforgiven and like Deadwood. That's influences and stuff. March 7th, Carter Bouchard. You'll be here for that.
Cool.
And then William Hall, that's a friend of mine, illusionist. Wells Thompson, that's a dude that wrote Frankenstein Unconquered, a comic book series. Jimmy Blue, Jimi Hendrix impersonator and Al Green impersonator. Yeah, that's the show. And it looks like Little Richard. Christy Bass and Jared Murphy, that's archaeological stuff. Then that P.D. Newman, that's that cool one with all the native mounds. Did I give you that book? I think I did. It's about a bunch of Native American mounds and cool stuff.
Yeah, you sent me a book link here. I haven't opened it up yet, but
I've seen him. He looks like a wrestler or something. Like he should be wrestling. But 18th, I'm working on that. 25th, Peter Samedi. That's a comic book dude that Aternus. Oh crap! Just knocked over the whole damn mic. Luckily, it wasn't a drink. Peterson, let me get his company right. He just put up, this is a cool dude. He looks like Johnny Depp. But comic King, he wrote a comic book called King Cryptid, and it's about like a Bigfoot and a lot of crazy monsters in it and stuff.
Wow.
And here's issue 9. In an effort to impress their father, mischievous shapeshifters known as the Puckwudgies capture King Cryptid. But anyway, his hold on, let me find his Alterna. That's it. Alterna. That's Alterna, and you can buy all his issues at that place. Alterna, Alterna. It's called King Cryptid. There's also another cool comic there called Blood Realm by a guy named Robert Geronimo. He may be coming on, but it's kind of like a weird Lord of the Rings, but weirder kind of fantasy series.
Okay.
I've been talking to a lot of comic book dudes lately. Very creative. That's a lot of work, man. A comic book, like I don't.
Yeah.
That's grueling.
Most comic book departments. I mean, do it in departments. You have ink and coloring, you have pencil and drawing, and then you have story and storyboarding and all that. And if you do it right, each department does their piece right, no problems. But yeah, it is difficult. You got to coordinate a lot of things to make one page.
Yeah, it's like engraving a stone.
Yeah.
Like you take a stone and turn it into a monument or whatever. I mean, it's basically, I mean, the work that goes into it is insane. Like I couldn't, especially some of these guys that have been doing it all their life, and women too. There are women that do it, of course, and they probably have arthritis. But it just seems like it'd be a lot. Maybe they use computers too, and that helps a lot somehow, like painting or like electronic paint or something. I know they use computers too to do a lot of it, but it's just interesting, the creative process. I want to ask those dudes about the creative process of all that. Seems like it was there's also a comic coming out by Image. I've talked to this dude before. Should ask him to call on the show. It's called Moonshine Bigfoot. It's like a crazy Bigfoot situation where the Bigfoot's like driving around in a race car, and I don't know what moonshine has to do with it. It's coming out from Image Comics, though. It looks crazy. Check it out. But I don't know. Everything seems nuts as usual. What's new?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different kind of place now. I mean, we got someone actually cleaning out the scum from our government system, but a lot of people think he's the scum himself. I mean, it's the weirdest thing on the planet.
Yeah, it's kind of like Darth Vader's cleaning out our system. Well,
right.
Great.
Yeah. That's a perfect analogy, Jeff. That's awesome. It's like Darth Vader came in to clean up the government, and everybody hates him for it, but they're like, "Oh, look at all this money he found."
I think the next level is they want to kill some folks. That's what they do.
If he digs too deep, he may be putting his.
I think if they had their way, just me for saying stuff I've said, they'd probably kill me. They would I think if he had his way, he would go full kill the opposition. I don't think they may go that way. They seem like they want to, and it seems like it's what their constituents want. That's for sure. And I get to see their constituents every day.
Right.
And I spy on them and I watch them, and I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. I'm right smack dab not into it. I have to see Republican headlines that basically glory hole Trump every day from every level, every vermin hole that exists on the internet. I see it every day. every title, everything, every QAnon little fart. I have to see it. And the sad part is I don't really like looking at it. And I have to look at it every day. And it's terrifying.
Yeah, I've never been a reporter. I've never, gone to like, mic in hand, to camera over the shoulder, and like interviewed people. Oh no, actually, I have done that in college, but I mean, it wasn't my inspiration. I didn't want to be a news reporter. But the last 18, 19 months on Joe's other show, News on the Flip Side, we did the political thing for 18 straight months, and I have always hated politics and never liked it, never understood it really. And now I have a fairly good understanding of it now. And I don't like it any more than I did before. But having this understanding now, I can understand why government is the way it is, and it boggled the mind. And I feel a lot less stressed now that there's no pending election around the corner.
Yeah, and some of the headlines, just some that I see, they had no idea what was coming for them. Victor Davis Hanson. Nobody will expect what's about to happen. Victor Davis Hanson, vanquishing evil from the world on the fringe. Trump's new executive order is going to change everything. Trump's revenge on Adam Schiff. Death penalty. Trump administration drops bombshell. Death penalty in play for mRNA crimes, which I guess is weird C stuff. I don't want to get into that, but you know what I mean. It's all this stuff like they just want it to happen. Like they want them to round up all the Democrats and the radio hosts, and not me necessarily, but they want them to. I had a guy come on Before It's News today, this crazy dude that says he's a Marine, and I don't know if he is or not, but his name on there is Marines Fighting Tyranny. And he is on there basically putting a list out of all these people that need to be executed. And I'm on the list. And It's every personality that, there's a thing called Monkey Work, some guy that does stuff on YouTube and shows airplanes and weird stuff and like military stuff, like just stuff like that. Yeah. But the reason why is because I work for Israel. All these people work for Israel. So he left a comment today that I had to report that I should, if someone finds my body with piano wire on it, to take a picture and upload it.
Wow.
And his whole basis is I'm work for the Israeli government.
Well, let me ask you this. How do I get in on that gig? Because I'm poor as crap.
I know. That's what I say. That when he puts his list out, I'm go, can you move me up to the top and let's just get it over with?
Yeah, really?
I'm even like, do you want my address? You can probably find it anyway. But anyway, I say stuff to him, I'm sure that upsets him. But and ag him on. But anyway, that was the thing he left today. And I've never even been on a plane. Like I've only known like one Jew dude in my life, and I sold weed to him. Somehow I'm a Jewish James Bond.
He was paying you, so I guess you were working for a Jew,
That's the one. That must have been the one.
That counts.
He told me he went to a Tool concert and Maynard from Tool stood on stage naked in his panties and sung. That was all I remember. That Jewish dude, some Jewish guy that bought weed from me, that looked like a businessman. But anywho, that was my extent of the Jewish nation, which I don't have any problem with Jewish people. I like Larry David.
He's funny.
I like Seth Rogen.
He's kind of funny.
But anyway, this dude could show up at my house to murder me because I work for the Israeli government when I don't.
Oh, shit, I hope I'm not on his list also.
Be careful. I was like, dude, you're like one of those dudes in Afghanistan that like start raping chicks and cutting off ears and going crazy with necklaces and stuff.
Yeah, and one of those
ear necklaces. Ear necklaces.
Yeah.
I reported them and said, this is one of the creepiest, scariest people I've ever seen at Before It's News, and y'all should block him by his IP, but they won't. They probably be lucky if they even delete it. But anyway, it's weird how people can murder you for something you didn't even do.
Yeah.
Or or you're not.
Just guilty by association. That's all it
I
is.
know. And he has a long list.
Oh shit. So I probably am on it then.
Yeah, it's long. It's like all these radio personalities that most people like. Like it's right wing crap that most people in right wing love. So it's confusing. But anywho,
and it's weird.
Someone said he was a Chinese bot. So I don't know. I don't know. That's true. I don't know. I think he's just crazy. But anyway, that's my life. So fascinating.
Yeah.
It says we have 2 listeners right now watching us. Of course, that's not completely accurate. There's other branches of that, I'm sure. But
yeah, I think that's only YouTube. That's what that eyeball is about.
Someone's deleting our channel. They don't want us on the channel. Is that Facebook or is that the JoJo?
We've been having some goof ups with both Facebook and YouTube lately.
It seems like to me that someone is deleting it on purpose, though, like a person.
Well, I can't say about that, but someone definitely deleted the UPRN YouTube page. It's gone.
Well, that was, but YouTube said y'all are like the network was asking for
scammers, and asking for money and all kinds of back alley deals and stuff like that.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. And it was just right on the cusp of the network getting monetized on YouTube, and they pull it.
Well, he's had legal problems with them before. I thought, like went to court or something. But anywho, a lot of people ask for like donations on those shows and stuff. So I don't really understand why they would take a whole channel off because someone's asking for donations. That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what ain't weird? They may have a vendetta because of what happened before. Whatever, I don't know the story, but I know something.
They gave him back. They gave us back international something or other, but took the UPRN away. So there used to be one for International Center for Alien Research, the ICAR YouTube page. They gave him that one back, but took the UPRN YouTube page. And,
really?
I mean, it's like, who knows what the hell's going on?
A lot of people seem to do good on the Rumble, so I would just focus on that.
We're getting 200 or 300 people on Rumble.
200 or 300?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to find the channels there. I haven't really looked. I share that place for work all the time, so I see all the different things there, of course.
Yeah.
There's a lot of craziness there with Vietnamese pirate channelers.
Yep.
Kind of like Han Solo getting caught up in some bounty hunter stuff.
Yeah. Back alley deal, like I said.
Yeah. Now I got to be careful because I'm afraid they're using boosters on their posts, which can get me in trouble at work, like they pay for clicks or something. So hopefully they're not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they are. So they won't get me in trouble. But it's just always a pain in the butt after one pain in the butt after a pain in the butt.
Yep.
You see that new Nosferatu movie yet?
No, I have not.
You should check it out. It's going to be on Peacock soon. I don't know if you have Peacock, but it's going to be.
Peacock, yeah.
That's going to be on there very soon. It's really good.
Well, then I'll get to see it then.
It's by the guy that did The Witch, Lighthouse, and Northman. Those movies. I don't know if you've seen any of those, The Witch or The Northman or The Lighthouse.
I think I'm pretty sure I saw the trailers for The Witch, and it looked pretty good. But I'm not as big into the horror genre as I am the sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because if you go to any brick and mortar store to buy DVDs or music, or not music, but movies, horror and sci-fi are always categorized together. So
Well, the lighthouse is pretty weird. You would like it's got Robert Pattinson and William Defoe, and it's about these two dudes just going nuts in a lighthouse that's black and white,
Oh, cool. That's cool.
and it's kind of Lovecraftian.
I'll have to check it out.
That's the best way to describe it, I guess, is Lovecraftian.
I
And
painted a lighthouse actually.
There's naked mermaid butt in it. He has a situation with a mermaid that's very sexual. So it's weird. Northman's really good. That's about like a berserker Viking.
Really cool.
That guy from I don't know if you ever saw the show True Blood. It's Eric the Northman.
Yeah, I remember True Blood. That's the one that was the vampire who was a cop.
He was the Viking vampire, the blonde haired guy that worked at the bar, and he's kind of like he was kind of a dickhead, and he's one of the Skarsgård brothers. He's the it clown.
I remember the one that was a policeman, where he was a policeman during the daytime, but at night he was like a vampire.
I don't think he was a policeman. He was a Viking, I know, but he had blonde hair, and he was like everybody thought he was sexy, and he worked at the bar, and blah 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 blah. And he's one of the Skarsgård brothers. He is
okay.
The It Clown dude that played the Nosferatu and It Clown. He's one of them. His dad's Stellan Skarsgård that was in Dune, the big fat dude that was the villain. Floki from Vikings is their brother. There's a whole family, but
oh wow, okay.
Eric Skarsgård is the Northman, but that movie's all is crazy Vikings. So. It's violent, pretty violent. They raid villages and rape people and burn down buildings with people in it. So it's crazy. Definitely a Viking movie if you need a Viking fix. But that dude's doing a werewolf movie too, and he's also working on a sequel to Labyrinth, the crazy David Bowie movie.
Oh wow, that would be cool.
Yeah, he does some weird movies. He's one to watch all his movies though. He's definitely not much unique out these days, so at least it's
Jeff, I got something that you might find amusing. Let me get this this share screen thingy going. Where am I now? I gotta click over to there. And this is a painting that I made last year? No, 2 years ago. Anyway, where am I? I lost my window. There we go. There's the lighthouse right there. You see it? See the lighthouse?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Like I gave it to my brother for Christmas because he used to have a boat down by Indianapolis.
You need to do one of those. You could be a Bob Ross.
Oh, I've been doing a whole bunch of them. Did you saw the background here before, didn't you?
Yeah. Which one? Is that the mermaid one?
No. The one before that was on here. I'll put it back.
I came here one day. There's some weird mermaid picture of. I was like, what the hell? It's like
no. I don't paint people or mermaids.
You do pretty good. You do better than I'd be doing this.
Thank you. Here we go. See back there, the background picture.
Yeah, that looks good. You do.
I painted that. It's daytime. Good. It's daytime on the bottom, and it's nighttime at top. With the, I didn't realize until after I painted it.
It looks really good. You're good at it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're opening up a shop here in town, and we're gonna sell some of those up there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know, I got a whole bunch up there for sale. I'm gonna paint a big one tomorrow.
What kind of shop is it?
The store is actually it's an antique store, but they rent out little spaces inside their store for local vendors. You can sell whatever you want as long as it's not like pornography or illegal. So you can't sell drugs there, but they can sell memorabilia. There's some guys are selling Star Wars stuff. There's a guy selling models, plastic car models. People selling artwork and T-shirts. One guy does those tumblers that keep your drink cold all day.
Yeah.
There's a guy that prints stuff on them and he sells them to you. You can get like your favorite superhero or a phrase printed on your mug, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's those are neat. There's a place like that around here, but the only problem is during the summer it's so hot you die if you go in there unless you're used to it. But
I don't think this place has a lot of air conditioning in it either, but
you set up tables.
yeah. It's basically what it is. It's giant
A
vendor
flea
stalls.
like a flea market.
Yeah, kind of.
A flea market. Oh no, man. Just lately just feel tired. Weird. Ugh. Need some more caffeine. Some more of that sativa.
So I've been up since 5 a.m. So I'm drinking tea.
Butters? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Butters tea?
It's the gas station right across the street. I mean, it's literally, I'll have to count. It's like 50 steps from my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They make
And
their
they're
own.
open 24/7, so I can go there and get food anytime.
They make their own sweet tea.
They make their own sweet tea. They make their really good lemonade. They have, coffee machines there all day long, always with coffee in them. They've got food. You can get breakfast any day, any time of day. You can get dinner any time of day. It's kind of conveniently inconvenient because sometimes late at night, particularly on weekends or nights when I'm going to sleep in, the motorcycle guys will drive in there and then rev their motors up real loud at 4 o'clock in the morning. So that kind of sucks.
They got all the fixins. Fixins.
Oh yeah.
You ever watch Eastbound and Down?
No, I know who is in it. That goofy dude. He was in
Danny McBride.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, it's funny, but definitely vulgar.
Wasn't he in? He was in the Land of the Lost movie, wasn't he?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he was with Will Ferrell.
It's possible, but he was in some crazy movie where it's like a fantasy and it's like a stoned molester Yoda that tries to molest them, and it's like, how high or your highness, that's it, or something like that. It's like a crazy fantasy with James Franco. That was silly. There's also in that show Vice Principals. It's by the same guy, Jody Hill, that did Eastbound and Down, but Vice Principals has God, now I can't think of the guy's name. The guy from Justified, and he was just in the new Fallout as the ghoul. But that guy,
Timothy Olyphant.
No, I know who that is, but Walter Goggins. Yeah, Walter Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah. And also they did that show Righteous Gemstones, which is funny. It's about these Christians that are nuts and real funny and vulgar, and John Goodman's in it, and Danny McBride and a bunch of people, but they're funny, but just stupid stuff to watch if you're bored. Definitely a lot of vulgarity.
Here's some funny stuff right here. I didn't like this movie, and in fact, I hate Will Ferrell since him making this movie. But there's Danny McBride right there.
Yeah. He also helped make the new Halloween movies, a new Alien movie that came out a while back. I forget the name of it. Makes movies too. But yeah, that Land of the Lost is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed the way Will Ferrell turned it into like a kind of just a really bad bathroom joke movie.
Would Will Ferrell make it?
No, he just made it terrible by his stupid jokes.
Oh, it wasn't the best. They could have did something a little better with that.
Yeah, I would have imagined it should have been a lot better.
What was that? Sasquatch Sunset. Did you ever see that movie with the Bigfoot? That's kind of funny, all those big feet.
No, I didn't see that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Type it in, Sasquatch Sunset, I think it's called. It's a movie. It's good for one watch, but it makes Bigfoot look kind of stupid. It's funny. The Bigfoots look cool.
2024 film. Yeah. Wow.
And it's funny. It's a good for one watch, but the Bigfoots are all vulgar and nasty, and they do crazy. Kind of makes Bigfoot look bad, but it's still worth one watch at least. They're actually well-made costumes, though. Like they look good.
I'm looking at the pictures. It looks pretty close.
There's no humans in it, I don't think. Nope. It's just about this family of Bigfoot. One of them tries to, they also like have incest.
Oh, gross.
I'm sure that goes well with I'm sure Bigfoot loves that. The real Bigfoot. Like, thanks for that portrayal. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel like time's just going by so slow. Like, I look at the clock, I'm like, God, it's still like
It's
30
funny you say that, because the last couple, like last week at work went by so fast.
Now I feel slow. The longest 30 minutes of my life. But and then Samuel with his just say no. I was just like, I'm not even gonna have this debate. Just say no to drugs tonight. I'm just gonna like be neutral and shut up. I don't have a strength.
Yeah, I kind of tried to shy away from that part of the conversation too.
Yeah. It just depends. I mean, there's different perspectives, Depends.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where I did meth for 2 years and crystal and went to raves,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Not something I'd recommend.
No.
I haven't done it. That's been like, God, what, 20 years or more since I
tried crack back way in the 80s, and it's like, I'll never try that. Oh, God, it was the worst. It was like smoking formaldehyde. It's so horrible.
It's funny because I got a story about that. I'm like, God, do we need to tell this story?
It's up to you if you want to tell it. Honestly, it tastes like formaldehyde. It was awful. Don't ever offer you crack. Say no.
You get kicked off for this one. For that. Okay, I'll tell it. One time, some girl I met from Personals picked me up. And at one point, this whole thing ended with her going into a gas station and running out with a 12-pack, and the clerk chasing her. And I had no idea that was going to happen at all. And I went to, and this girl sped out of there, and I think she knocked the clerk over with the car almost or something. And anyway, the car ended up, this is a long ass time ago. God, 15, 20 years ago. I don't even remember. But anyway, her car somehow finally got pulled over and I got arrested. I had one joint that she got from a bar because I hadn't had weed in a million years. I barely knew this person. I didn't even remember her name hardly. But anywho, got pulled over. And this is not even, I'll get to the other part. I went to jail for a joint. She got in trouble for doing what she did. I didn't.
Yeah.
They believed that I didn't have anything to do with it, which I didn't. I didn't know she was going to do. I had no clue she was going to run out and do that. Like, no clue.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
And I was like on Xanax in the car and just sitting there minding my own business in the passenger seat. And she runs out with a clerk chasing her with this mirror. And I'm like, what the? Anyway, I went to jail for a night or something. And I got out of there because I told them I had to go to chemo. I lied. I've gone through chemo before, so that's a card I've never used before, but that card saved me and they let me go because someone had died in the jail, like that they didn't treat or something weird that got them in trouble. So they were all paranoid.
Right.
So I pulled a Billy the Kid and they let me go. And I had to come to some class and pay a fine. And the class was about weed causing men's breasts to lactate milk and monkeys driving drunk, like the weirdest crap ever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was that adventure. But anyway, this same girl at one point pulled over in the ghetto and tried to sell her speaker box for crack and was successful. And I didn't know. I was just like a passenger, so I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't even know she did crack. Like I didn't. My stance on crack was never to do crack ever, and I never did.
Yeah.
But that night, we're inside, and there's like 3 or 4 gangster black dudes in the ghetto, and they pass it around. So I'm like, oh my God. I don't do it? Are they gonna think I'm a white bald dude, standing in the most craziest like New Jack City craziest thing ever?
Get the bald white dude, he's a narc.
So I did it, and I didn't do it that much, but like a few times or whatever, and I didn't really like it. I never did it again.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Yeah, I didn't understand how people would do it and like go sell their shoes.
Yeah. And be successful at doing it. To give you this,
that was a situation where there's like gangster black dudes, and can you imagine just being in that and thinking, oh my God, if I don't do it, I could die right now. Which that could have been true or not, but it would have probably looked worse if I wouldn't have done it while they're doing it. But anyway, one time this guy went to a house to visit some friends that I live with, this Ron guy, and he was real scary. Like I thought he was gonna like murder me or something. But anyway, we go to visit this family or something, and suddenly they're shooting at him. And I'm with him. And I'm like, I didn't know. Like I didn't know. I guess he did something to him a long time ago or something. I mean, I don't remember, but it was scary. One of the craziest things I ever seen was a dude that was old. He's probably dead now. Had a lot of medical trouble. He took a needle with meth in it, put it in his head, and injected it, like really in his skull.
Ew.
And the needle went into his skull, and he did it in his brain. He said he did it because he was dying and he was in pain from blah, 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 whatever. And he was like some Breaking Bad kind of dude, old man that, had all these things to make that kind of stuff. And I swear to God, he put that needle in his forehead. And I don't know how a needle goes into your skull like that unless you've done it.
It had to stop on the bone. It didn't go that deep.
Unless he jammed it in there before and it has a hole, right? I mean,
I doubt it.
I swear to God, he put it in there. I don't know how deep it went in, or if it was just the tip, or if he was messing with us, but he definitely didn't have a problem doing that. I never used needles. Chemo was enough needles for me, but
yeah.
But luckily, I never got into needles. Thank Jesus Christ. Yeah. I hated them. But anyway, I haven't done drugs like that in 20 or 30 years or something. I don't even know.
I got all those demons out quick and early, so
do them now. I'd be in the emergency room.
Oh God, yeah, jeez.
But plus they have so many weird weed and things. That's just as good as anything else. You can get some of that CBD, THC, whatever, the distilled it and just take a little drop on your finger and do it. Man, there was some stuff we did the other night. Me and Christina, we had to finish some chores to go to bed. We couldn't move. It was an indica. It's like we can't even get up to do the dogs. Take them out. We did. And there was some that was sativa that was really good.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the sativas myself.
Some of that sativa, you'll do that and you'll feel like energized the next day or something.
Yeah.
Like it does weird stuff.
Or energized right then. I smoke it because it gives and it gives you energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
indica is good for sleeping. It
does. Yeah. Indica's good, but sativa can leave you a little bit more revitalized. But there's some called Alien Moonshine that was a lot more CBD than THC. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But Kitty time. It's Kitty 30.
Yep. It's Miss Blackmore. She's making her radio debuts today.
Yeah.
Well, she's been on a few times. But she likes to be up there.
She likes to potty. What's her name?
What's the other cats? They'll hang out here for a few minutes, and they'll start banging on the door, and making too much noise. So I got to let them out. But she'll stay here the whole show. She'll stay here for all 5 hours. So I do Joe's show after this, so she'll be in here for the whole thing. As long as she lets me know she's got to go potty, it's good. Last week she went potty back there, and it was kind of stinky.
Yeah, we're still having problems with cats. They just do not.
Looks like we froze up a little bit there. Oh, there we go.
Having to put cats in the cradle, cats in the kennel, because they won't stop pooping out of a certain area that we don't want them to.
Gosh.
It's like, are they being vindictive? It seems like it. We change their box every day. They just don't.
Because they're sick. They want you to know that they're sick, and that's why they do that.
Well, this was getting pretty bad, and I think a lot of it is that may be true on some level, but some of it is because there's 5 cats, and some of them don't seem like they like each other, so it's kind of like a weird territorial thing that seems like they don't want to use the same box. It's kind of childish, like a childish kitty thing, childish kitty drama. But and it's very frustrating. Now 2 of them are in the kennel, the 2 perpetrators. So they're with their own box. So
they're on timeout.
Yeah. And then you let them out to give them a chance, and they'll do the same damn thing. It's just not clicking.
Oh, jeez.
Not clicking. Clicking. But I don't know.
Well, this kitten's trying to get into my KFC chicken dinner box, so I'm putting some pieces down for her, so she'll stop bothering me.
There's a new book coming out. It's all these authors. I forget the name of it. It's on Amazon. It's The Stand, but all these authors writing stories for it from Stephen King, like different authors doing little short.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It ain't out till this year sometime. It's not out yet. Anthology is the best way to call it, probably. Yeah, it's called The End of the World as We Know It. New Tales of Stephen King's The Stand, edited by Christopher Golden and Brian Keene. Those are 2 pretty big names. Comes out in August, but it's basically a lot of authors doing stories in that universe. So that's pretty interesting. Trying to find. Oh, there's that new Batman Resurrected book. That's a direct sequel to Tim Burton's Batman with Jack Nicholson. It's called Batman Resurrected.
Oh, nice.
I have it. I just need to read it. But Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, has a fantasy book that seems pretty interesting coming out called King Sorrow. And it seems to take place in the modern world, but these kids summon a dragon that's there to just F up stuff, the dragon. So it's like, I guess, bleeding a real dragon into the modern world. So there's some good ones coming out. We've been watching a show. What did we watch? We watched Eastbound and Down, but there's another show. What is that? Wolf Like Me? Is that the name of it? It's a show on Peacock about a werewolf. That's pretty good. They're little 30-minute episodes. It's called Wolf Like Me.
I don't know. I was watching
Wolf Like Me.
Skeleton Crew on the Star Wars.
Yeah, we finished that. That was good. Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Jude Law. It's kind of like.
Yeah, Jude Law. Yeah, it was very good.
It's kind of like a Jude Law Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's.
I can hear your dog still snoring a little bit there.
Yeah, he never stops. Gosh.
Is he actually sleeping, or he always breathes like that?
he's kind of, it can go either way. Like he kind of stays in different modes,
Yeah.
different states. Oh, okay. Stupid Rumble playing commercials. There we go. But man, I can't put that up. Oh. So how's your job going? You still, where you at? Home Depot still?
Yeah, but I work in the distribution center, so I'm like, I don't work with the, I don't sell. I don't work in the store anymore. I don't have to work with the general public. I load trucks and I ride a forklift truck all up. I love it. It's all. I got a 3-day weekend. I work Tuesday through Friday, Saturday to Monday off every week.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not a gig I would give up anytime soon.
Yeah.
They'll have to drag me out of that building, kicking and screaming.
When are you gonna do your little booth?
We open up starting next month, but we get to set it up the last week of this month. So, I guess Monday, Tuesday, we can start putting things up on the wall there.
You can do Etsy. You ever done that?
Well, yeah, we might do something like that. We're gonna try this first. See how it goes. I mean, it's just one avenue. Etsy's another avenue. Ideally, for me, the painting thing, that's like just gonna be like my retirement. Just if it draws enough money in on a regular basis, that could be a great supplement for Social Security income.
Yeah. Never know if you can sell enough, but how are you going to feel departing with them? That's the question. When you depart with your precious Dorian Gray paintings,
I'm not really that concerned about it, to be honest with you, because it's money. If people want to take them home and frame them and put them on their wall, and they're going to give me 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks for one, who am I to complain?
will you miss one? Will you miss them?
I mean, the ones that I have given to my friends were like some of the first ones I've done, so I know where those are. But yeah, no, I actually went and I bought a whole bunch of materials specifically to make paintings to sell, so I'm not going to miss them.
Yeah.
It's like 100.
Get over here.
It was like 129 or 130 bucks. I got 8 of his 14 colors of paint and a booklet to paint this thing called Mountain Summit. And I did, well, I mean, there's a version of it right there. I did 2 of them, a small one and a big one, right? I painted them at the same time.
Yeah.
Those I painted specifically to go and sell.
I know something you should try that's interesting that you might could try. Where people buy old paintings that you can do put other pictures in, paint other pictures, and they add like Bigfoot and stuff like that, like UFOs and weird stuff like that. For instance, you'd find something at a thrift store that was just a nature scene, and then they would add stuff to it that looked neat and stuff like that,
right.
like a Bigfoot.
Well, I would like to go to the Bob Ross class. They have a certification classes down in Georgia, in Smyrna, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, I think. And it's like 3-week course. I can be certified to become a teacher in landscape, florals, and animals. And maybe they'll teach me how to paint a gorilla, and I can translate that into a Bigfoot.
That's interesting. How do they do Bob? Like, who are the teachers? Just other painters?
People that have been trained by him to teach that style. The main teacher name right now is Tom Hankins or Haskins, Hankins, and he started the TV show back up again. So
Okay.
Joy of Painting TV show they have another season up on. You can probably find it on Roku or YouTube or something.
There's some movie with Owen Wilson that was some kind of parody of Bob Ross. I never watched it. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it either.
Didn't have the best reviews. Not that I always care about that, but I don't know how good it was. And you have to look. You have to look at Owen Wilson's nose the whole thing, so that's hard.
Yeah.
His botched plastic surgery or whatever it was.
I'm not really sure what happened to it.
Something weird. There's a weird story behind it. I always heard Owen Wilson's nose. Owen Wilson's nose. He injured his nose as a teen in a fight. That's what I found anyway.
Mm.
His nose is messed up because of a fight. I heard plastic surgery went wrong, but I guess that was wrong. Maybe he got more and it got messed up more. I don't know.
I'm trying to look through that. Oh, Midnight in Paris, maybe.
No, you ever see that one that's kind of like animated about Vincent van Gogh?
Yes, that's Midnight in Paris. Yeah. Cat, stop biting me.
No, it's called Loving Vincent.
Well, there's one Midnight in Paris that shows Vincent van Gogh's starry sky up in.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of different ones, but the one I was talking about is called Living. Look up Living Vincent and watch that sometime when you're in the right mood, if you know what I mean. And it's like a big painting of his that tells his life story. It's pretty good. It's called Loving Vincent. It won like awards and stuff. It's a lot of weird animation, or I don't know if it's stop animation or it's different. Like the whole thing is a painting. Like it's beautiful. The whole thing. Loving Vincent. It's hard to paint people and stuff. Have you tried ever?
No, I don't. I'm not good at drawing people at all.
Yeah. Or aliens.
No, same thing.
That's what I would always.
I don't see which one it is with the painter thing.
Loving Vincent.
I was like, did one where he was like a parody of Bob Ross. I don't know which one that is.
Oh, it's like. Hold on. I'll find it. Owen Wilson, Bob Ross movie. Paint. It's just called Paint. Paint. It's just called Paint for some reason. It just popped up. I just put Owen Wilson, Bob Ross movie.
I'm looking at his entire list of movies he's been in. I didn't see that. I'm going back up and looking for Paint. And what was the other one you said? The
Loving Vincent.
Loving Vincent. I didn't see that one on here either.
And if you want some Vikings, The Northman. If you want some violent, a berserker story.
Man, none of those were in there.
That's weird. Maybe they're not updating his page or something.
Actor 89.
It's weird. He's in the trailer. He's like the main character of Paint. I haven't watched it.
There's Paint. Okay, there's Paint. What year was the other one?
Loving Vincent?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not in that.
Oh.
Loving Vincent is just a movie about Vincent van Gogh called Loving Vincent.
Okay.
It's an animated film. There is one with William Dafoe plays him, I think.
Yeah.
William Dafoe, Vincent van Gogh movie. Yeah, there's a movie where at Eternity's Gate from 2018 where William Dafoe plays Vincent van Gogh. I've seen it. It's pretty weird. He's definitely nuts. It's definitely crazy.
There's a movie with a cat called Bring Her Back to Me. I'm going to find out that.
What is it?
The movie called Bring Her Back.
What is that about?
Looks like a cat.
Oh, there's some movie called Flow or something that's about a cat on HBO that's new. Got good awards. It's animated. It's like about a black cat or something. Called Flow, I think.
No, haven't heard of that one.
I saw Wild Robot. That's on Peacock. That's not a bad animation. That's pretty crazy. Animated movie called Wild Robot. It's about a robot that gets dropped down and all these animals and gets crazy. The animation's really good.
The new I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but the new animated Transformers movie looked really good.
Yeah, we watched it. It wasn't bad. I just remembered that I watched it.
Yeah.
But it's worth the watch. Steve Buscemi's Starscream.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's worth the watch. It got good reviews. Seems like they might be making a sequel to it or something.
Yeah.
Because it did well.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're trying to revitalize the toy line and the TV shows.
Yeah, but I think they'll be trying to do something with this new Robert Kirkman and all that stuff I've been talking about, the new universe where they're G.I. Joe and Transformers are together.
Yeah.
That's still going strong and getting strange. The last issue coming out, I haven't read it yet. It has Duke and Cobra Commander fighting to the death on the cover.
Oh damn!
Says nothing will be the same.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, I need to catch up. I'm behind. It's a good comic called The Goon. They might be doing a movie of that with Paul Giamatti playing the Goon. But it's a Dark Horse comic called The Goon.
I thought Paul Giamatti would make a good, movie version of Moth from the Tick.
Yeah. Which one? Moth?
The Moth, the guy who takes sidekick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they were gonna do another Bubba Hotep. I don't remember, but did you ever see Bubba Hotep? With Bruce Campbell? That's a good one about a mummy that gets into an old folks' home and steals their souls out of their buttholes. And it's Bruce Campbell plays Bruce Campbell plays Elvis in the old folks' home. It's by Don Coscarelli. The guy that did Phantasm and Beastmaster. It's called Bubba Hotep.
I'll have to check it out.
Bubba Hotep. Hotep.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, that's one to see. But all right, everybody. Thanks, everybody. You listen to United Public Radio 107.7 FM New Orleans. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jay. Ali Muhammad just liked us, and he loves us on Facebook. Ali Muhammad, the boxer. All right. Everybody have a good night. Good night, everybody.